Sanders taking his time here getting ready. Now we're ready to go. 1-0 pitch. This will be pitch number 21 for Sanders. This one lifted into the air into right field, coming on and dropped out in right field. Stepp couldn't come up with it, and that will allow a run to score. And Stepp throws it wildly over towards the third base side, and that will have the runner hold, though, at second. Stepp couldn't find the ball, and then once he got it, he held it a while and allowed the runner to move up that time. And that does allow the second run of the game to score for Sophia. So again, not a hit this inning on Sophia's part. You have a catcher's interference, fielder's choice, a fly out, and an error, allowing them to score this run. Now that'll bring up Silas Nelson, who has the only hit of the game thus far for Sophia when he doubled to right field his last time up. Later was thrown out in a rundown at home plate. There's a strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
Landon, you got to back up. Third. Be moving every play there, John Henry. Back up third.
And Nelson, 5 of 9 in this Little League State tournament. This one hit high in the air and out of play back behind us towards the parking lot.
Please return all foul balls to the press box, please.
And not sure what the home plate umpire is signaling to. Looks like second base bag's a little tilted out there, so they're wanting to get that fixed. So Riddle just digs himself a little hole like he's at the beach right now as he's trying to get second base put back in position. That may have been where Bradbury came in hard a moment ago and kind of dislodged the bag, but it looks like everything's fixed now. So Sanders still looking for his first strikeout since coming into the game. He's ahead 0-2 here on the most dangerous hitter in this lineup. That one misses high, 1-2. Nelson trying to pick up another run here for Sophia. Trying to chip away at this 8-run deficit right now. That one misses outside. Good stop by Farley. Throws back out to second base. Back easily to the bag is Riddle. So count now moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3 as Sanders gets his first punch out of the game and retires Nelson. But Sophia does get a run back on an error by Ceredo-Kenova, as well as a catcher interference. The 2 errors that inning for Ceredo-Kenova, but they still hold a 10-2 lead as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Back after this as you're watching the 2020 Little League State Tournament with us right here live on Video Productions.
Are your kids playing in a real Little League? Little League is the world's largest and most respected youth sports program with nearly 2.4 million children and more than 1 million volunteers in dozens of countries around the world. Little League includes baseball and softball programs for kids ages 4 to 16. There's the Challenger Division program for kids with physical and mental challenges too. For those adults interested in starting a genuine Little League in your area, assistance is available from Little League International in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. For more information on Little League, visit Little League website at www.littleleague.org.
No child in our community should have to go hungry, but it happens every day. That's why the Food Shack is traveling across our area to stop hunger among community kids. The mission is simple: feed as many kids as possible with free hot meals 5 days a week. There's no questions asked and no catch. If your child is hungry and needs something to eat, the Food Shack will provide them with a meal. Visit our Facebook page to find out where the Food Shack is going.
Top of the fourth inning we head. Chris Kidd with you, Butch Mounts, our engineer, and Brian Shepard, our statistician and graphic organizer. As you see, runs by inning. 4 runs in the first. Well, Fairmont's not playing today. That's all right. We'll get that back to you soon enough. But again, nevertheless, you see where we're at. 10 runs on 8 hits, 4 errors for Ceredo-Kenova. They left 5 on base. While Sophia, 2 runs on 1 hit, 3 errors of their own, and they left 2 on base. So, again, the day off maybe is left a little to be desired for both clubs as far as the errors count goes. But Ceredo-Kenova not complaining about how they've hit the ball today. That one fouled out of play by, looks like Cole Christian now up to bat. And it is McChristian getting his first look at the plate today, batting in place of Braxton Brown. Again, McChristian takes a big rip and fouls this one off. McChristian 2 of 5 in this tournament. Homered to give them the lead against Mineral County the other night and give them the win 8-6, and then later went on, pitched that 6th inning and saved the game as well. Also had a single in that game, 2 ground outs, and a strikeout overall in this state tournament. That pitch misses outside to McChristian, 1-2. Linksweiler works quickly. This one chopped high towards short, right to Bradbury, throws over to first, in time to Nelson for out number 1. It's the 7, 8, 9 hitters this inning for Linksweiler to face, as Landon Dixon will come back up for his second at bat. Dixon walked in his last plate appearance and later scored a run. And Dixon still without a hit in this tournament, 0 for 2 overall. Swing and a miss on an outside fastball, 0-1. Again, Linksweiler working quickly on the mound. Again, he's going fast. Again, you see Dixon not even looking back at the pitcher yet. Linksweiler ready to go, 1-1 the count now. There's strike 2 as that came back in and caught the inside corner for a strike. Dixon now climbs back in, down 1-2 in this at bat. Ball 2 low as the count evens up. Dixon in playing left field at the moment for Ceredo-Kenova. And went around strike 3. That ball had some movement on it, kept moving away from the plate on him. And Dixon laid on that pitch for strike 3, and that'll bring up John Henry Stepp for his second at bat. He walked as well last inning. That led to 3 more runs for Ceredo-Kenova as Sophia looking for their first quick inning of the evening thus far. Again, each of the first 3 innings been quite the labor out in the field for the Sophia All-Stars. Linksweiler looking for a 1-2-3 right here. That one catches on the inside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. That one misses outside, 2 balls and a strike now. Let's see Linksweiler working on his release point. And it looks like we have some fans behind home plate there, as and there they hear us. Hi, girls. They were waving at our camera out in center field. Now 3-1 the count. So see, we are getting fans, fellas. This has been long. It's been a fun week. So it looks like they're watching it on their phones behind home plate, and they were waving at the camera. So now the count at 3-1. Again, strike 2 right at the knees of John Henry Stepp as the count runs full. There's ball 4, so a 2-out walk. And second walk given up to John Henry Stepp now, as that'll continue the inning. Again, Sophia still trying to have their first 0 put on the board of the game on defense. And trying to see if Mason Watts may be coming in to run here, or maybe it'll just be to coach first. Let's see. Yes, he will come in to run here for Stepp as Harrison Riggs comes back to the plate. As Riggs today, 2 of 3. Has a pair of singles with an RBI and struck out in the second inning, so he's come to the plate in each inning thus far. Strike 1 on the inside corner as Ceredo-Kenova sent 9 to the plate in the first inning, 7 to the plate in the second inning, 8 to the plate in the third inning. This one hit towards second. Nice backhanded stop over there by Austin. Throws over in time to get Riggs for out number 3. So no runs, no hits, 1 man left on. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Ceredo-Kenova still in control, leading at 10-2 as we head to break on the great play at second base by Austin. You're watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Tournament right here on Video Productions.
General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
As a member of the military, a military family, or a veteran, the last thing you should have to worry about is your prescriptions. At your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, we'll transfer your prescriptions for you with no interruptions in service. Our pharmacists will be there to help answer questions and share tips and advice with a friendly, knowledgeable smile. And we're not going anywhere. We welcome military personnel and their families. Transfer your prescriptions today. Griffith & File Drug Store and Soda Fountain, 1405 Chestnut Street, Kenova. Health Mart, caring for you.
Bottom of the 4th inning with Ceredo-Kenova leading at 10-2 over Sophia to see who moves on to the championship round tomorrow of the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Tournament. Chris Kidd here with you from Greenbrier County with Butch Mounts, our engineer, and Brian Shepard, our graphic organizer and statistician for today's game, as Cole Moody steps in for Cash Lynch, getting his first plate appearance of the tournament. And Moody has had quite the state tournament thus far, as that one misses inside from Sanders, 1-0. And Moody 4 of 6 in this tournament, had that 2-run home run to help seal the win against Boone Northern on Saturday, then had 3 singles the other day as a nice breaking pitch there, or changeup rather, by Sanders, 1-1. It was 3 of 3 in the win over Logan with 3 singles. He also was flown out, popped out, but 3 RBIs overall for Cole Moody. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. And apparently in league play in the Sophia Little League, he's definitely been known as the long ball threat in that league. They call it Moody ball, which basically whenever he blasts one over the fence, Sophia would love to have one of those right now, as that time a little bit of an ephus pitch there from Sanders misses. Through 30 pitches now, Sanders has 20 strikes and 10 balls. As we say, he was a little wild at first, but he started to get control of himself through the last couple innings, and he strikes out Moody, who's been one of the more dangerous hitters in this tournament. So, back-to-back strikeouts going back to last inning now for Sanders. And that'll bring up Tyler Varney. Varney, 1 for 2 in the tournament, a single and a ground out. There's a strike on the outside corner from Sanders. 0-1 the count. He looks back to the dugout and smiles. He's at 32 pitches now, so Sanders won't be available for the rest of this tournament to pitch unless we were to get rained out tomorrow and have to come back Thursday, as there's a swing and a miss, 0-2. But I'd say this will be Sanders' game for the rest of the way, and looks like more and more that it was definitely the right call by Ceredo-Kenova pulling Riggs in the second inning. I don't think they would have done that, obviously, had they not built such a quick lead in this game. As Varney fouls that one up into the screen, 0-2 it remains. As we said, with the pitch count rules, you do have to have a little bit of strategy going into it, because if you go over 20 pitches, then you have to have at least a day's rest. After 35 pitches, it's 2 days rest. After 50 pitches, it's 3 days rest, and anything over 65 pitches is 4 days rest. So that's why we said coming through the losers bracket has been so much more debilitating, as there's a swing and a miss by Varney. Strike 3, and that's 3 straight strikeouts now for Isaiah Sanders. We saw Fairmont suffer that fate last night against Mineral County. Again, they and Logan threw their 2 aces against each other in what was just an epic pitcher's duel. As Williams lines one into right field, sinking fast, cut off by Stepp. Nice play by him in right field to prevent that from getting to the wall. But Justin Williams gets his first hit of this tournament. He was 0 for 3 coming to the plate with a fly out, a strikeout, and it reached on an error, but right there ripped that ball into right field for a hit. They announced Christian Linkweiler, but I think that's Ashton Arthur, and it is. I was going to say, I was looking at my sheet too, wondering if I had missed something. But Arthur hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Tough play just over the head of Shoemaker, who leaped for it. As Stepp comes in to field it and get it back to Shoemaker. So back-to-back hits here for Sophia, looking for a 2-out rally after the first 2 batters struck out to begin this inning. And that will bring up Christian Linkweiler, who reached on catcher interference his last time up. Sophia, if they're going to want to climb back into this game, they've got to start now, trailing by 8. As we said, with the pitch rules, again, with the Fairmont and Logan throwing their aces against each other last night, and that 3-2 heart stopper. After that, Fairmont, they had used up all of their experienced pitchers and had to go with some of their players that weren't as used to pitching. And like we said, that's absolutely nothing against the kids that had to come in those spots. It was just the circumstance dictated that. And if you're just not as used to that position or being in that situation, it makes it obviously a lot more difficult. And Mineral County was able to benefit from that. So that's why we said staying in the winner's bracket gives you a chance to try and set your pitching lineup a little bit more efficiently than you would if you're in the loser's bracket. And it'll be interesting to see what Mineral County has left. Again, they used Lance Norndorf last night, and he won't be available the rest of the tournament. As here's the 2-1 count to Linkweiler. That one misses outside, 3-1. So it went from looking like possibly a quick 1-2-3 inning here for Sanders to now back-to-back hits and a 3-1 count to Linkweiler, and this would put things back to the top of the order if Linkweiler is able to reach here. Again, waiting for everyone to get ready here as we're set to go back. This one lifted high in the air to left field, back towards the wall, looking up, and it is gone. A 3-run blast from Christian Linkweiler, and all of a sudden, Sophia is to within 5. That is the first hit of this tournament for Christian Linkweiler, and it's a 3-run blast. So that wakes up the Sophia dugout as they have new life all of a sudden. And that'll bring Caden Bradbury up to the plate. So we talked about it. We've seen several comebacks in this tournament when we thought teams have been left for dead. Could this be perhaps the biggest of them all if Sophia is able to get going here? Now you're starting to hear more chatter out of that dugout. That one went about 281 feet, it appears. Now Bradbury, 0 for 2 in this game, popped out the second and hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. As you see, Farley having some catcher equipment difficulties. But again, 10-5 now all of a sudden in this winner's bracket final. The winner moves on to the championship game tomorrow. Here from Central Greenbrier Little League Field, the loser has to play again tonight against Mineral County coming up at the conclusion of this game. This has been a slow, methodical game thus far, but things might be starting to heat up a little bit now. As Bradbury climbs in after Farley able to get his equipment fixed. Calls for a fastball from Sanders. Swing and a miss by Bradbury, 0-1. And again, all this happening with 2 outs right now. First 2 batters struck out. He struck out Moody, struck out Tyler Varney, and then a single by Williams, a single by Arthur, and a 3-run blast by Linkweiler. That one misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. That pitch misses high, 2-1. And Sanders had started to go on cruise control. Now you see that his expression has started to change after a couple of those hits. Now let's see if he's able to work his way out of trouble here in the 4th inning. This one hit towards first and second. Shoemaker diving stop, throws to McChristian in time for out number 3. What a play by Jack Shoemaker. Over at second base that time. It looked like it was going to be a single to right to keep the inning going. And watch here from our first base angle, the diving stop on his knees and how quick he was able to get that out of his hands against his body to throw out the speedy Caden Bradbury for the final out of the inning. But 3 runs cross on 3 hits for Sophia. It's now a 10-5 game as we move to the top of the 5th inning. Back after this break as you are watching the 2020 Little League State Tournament with us right here on Video Productions. What was a 10-1 game now stands at 10-5 as we move to the top of the 5th inning. Chris Kidd here with you, with Brian Shepard, our statistician and graphic organizer this week, and Butch Mounts, our engineer. As Sophia trying to claw their way back into this game. Again, a 3-run home run by Christian Linkweiler. Able to cut this lead down to 5, and now he's on the mound as he finally was able to stop the bleeding from the Ceredo-Kenova bats last inning, putting up a 0 for the first time on them. And right now, if you're Sophia, there can't be any more mistakes. No more mistakes, no more my bads. They've got to hold Ceredo-Kenova fight a zeros the rest of this way if they're going to have an opportunity here. As Shoemaker fouls it back into the screen, 1-2 it remains. And Shoemaker made a tremendous play on Bradbury a moment ago in order to get out of that bottom of the fourth inning and keep a 5-run lead intact for Ceredo-Kenova. Shoemaker's 2 for 3 today, a single, a double, and a pop out to his credit as the count now at 2-2. And again, Nelson started this game on the mound for Sophia through 72 pitches before being lifted. This is pitch 55 for Linkweiler, and now all of a sudden the count is run full. So 127 pitches thrown by Sophia pitching here tonight. And there's strike 3 on the outside corner. Big pitch there by Linkweiler in order to retire Shoemaker. And Linkweiler dealing with the most difficult part of the order here for Ceredo-Kenova, the 2, 3, and 4 batters. He's able to get the first. Now he deals with Isaiah Sanders, who has a 2-run triple and a 2-run home run tonight, along with hitting into a fielder's choice. His first pitch misses, 1-0. As Linkweiler heads back to the mound. Said Linkweiler works quickly from the rubber. 6 hits in this tournament from Sanders. This could be number 7 as he hits one hard into right center field, and that's up against the wall. Varney up with it, and Sanders into second with a 1-out double. And he is now just a single away from the cycle here tonight. As he tripled in the first inning, homered in the second inning, and now doubles here in the 5th inning. That'll bring up Brody Spencer. Strike 1 on the outside corner. As we said, Spencer entering into this lineup for the first time tonight has added a jolt to the offense. Was hit by a pitch in the first inning, but then doubled and had an RBI single its last time up. That was the last run. That's Ceredo-Kenova's score. That one came in high and tight, gave him a little shave. Count now at 2-1. Swing and a miss on that fastball from Linkweiler. 2-2 now the count. This one hit hard into left field. That's going to get all the way to the wall. That will score Sanders from second. And an RBI single from Brody Spencer gets one of the runs back for Ceredo-Kenova. And the lead now at 11-5 here on the top of the 5th inning. That ball was smoked by Brody Spencer. And he's got 3 hits now on the evening. And it'll bring up Bo Farley. Farley's 0 for 2 today. He walked, grounded out to first, and hit into a fielder's choice. This one chopped towards second, going to be a tough play, and it gets through into right field. That's going to get all the way to the wall. Rounding third comes Spencer. He's going to come to the plate. The throw is not going to be in time as Farley heads for third, and that gets away, and Farley's now going to come to the plate, and just like that, the 8-run lead has been regained by Ceredo-Kenova here on the top of the 5th inning. There's a couple of errors on that play. We'll try and settle that in. Again, it's been an error-prone game on both sides thus far. Right there, maybe an error at second and then a throwing error after the fact. And Farley with not quite an inside the park home run, but something to the equivalent of it on that play. As he comes all the way around to make it 13-5. And now Miguel Kane stands in. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Again, Kane's had his struggles at the plate in this state tournament. 1 for 8 with 6 strikeouts. but has been able to make up for it on the defensive end more and more each game. And you see there it is, an error on the second baseman on the fielding error, and then a throwing error on the catcher on that last play. That had both runs come in, and now Linksweiler trying to settle down after that. Again, inning started promising for Sophia as he struck out Shoemaker. But ever since then, a double by Sanders, a RBI single by Spencer, and then the two errors on the last play, allowing 2 runs to score, and now a walk to Miguel Kane. And it'll be Cole McChristian coming up for his second time. He grounded out to shortstop his last time up. And the hero from the other night fouls one off down the third base side. Again, big response by Ceredo-Kenova after Sophia had taken some momentum away from them last inning, cutting this deficit to 5. But just that quickly, this team has built their lead back up to 8. 1-1 the count. And again, this Ceredo-Kenova team, they also have nicknamed themselves the Wonders coming into this tournament. Nice backhanded stop by Riddle that time, 2-1. You have to wonder if they thought they'd be in this spot after they started this tournament. Strike 2 on the outside corner, but this is a team that has believed in itself from the very beginning. Pulling off that upset over Mineral County the other night, and now on the verge of moving into the championship round to face either this Sophia team again or a rematch with Mineral County tomorrow. Ball 4 as it misses low to McChristian. Now runners at first and second with 1 out still here in the top of the 5th inning. And we'll see if this will be Mannon or Dixon that comes to the plate. It appears it'll be Evan Mannon standing back in now.
Up to bat, number 30, Evan Mannon.
It's Mannon had an RBI ground out in the first inning. It's 75 pitches now for Linksweiler, swing and a miss by Mannon, 0-1. So Linksweiler won't make it the distance in this game. He'll approach 85 pitches shortly. This one hit back to him. He catches it, throws on to first in time. A double play by Linksweiler, able to double up McChristian to end the top of the 5th inning, but not before 3 more runs cross for Ceredo-Kenova to rebuild an 8-run lead as we head to break. You see the double play once again with Nelson coming in on the backside to make the grab for out number 3. We'll be back after this break as you're watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Tournament right here on Video Productions.
As a member of the military, a military family, or a veteran, the last thing you should have to worry about is your prescriptions. At your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, we'll transfer your prescriptions for you with no interruptions in service. Our pharmacists will be there to help answer questions and share tips and advice with a friendly, knowledgeable smile. And we're not going anywhere. We welcome military personnel and their families. Transfer your prescriptions today. Griffith and File Drugstore and Soda Fountain, 1405 Chestnut Street, Kenova. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
Mannon back in left field for Ceredo-Kenova. Watts back in right field as they check back in. McChristian will stay in, however, for Ceredo-Kenova in the field as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. Chris Kidd with you, with Brian Shepard, our statistician and graphic organizer, and Butch Mounts, our engineer, as we are here for the final 3 games of this tournament, final 3 teams of this Little League State Tournament. And right now, Ceredo-Kenova 6 outs away from moving into the state championship game tomorrow. And Sophia looking as if they could be well on their way to coming right back here in about a half an hour at the conclusion of this game. But 2-0 the count now to Hunter Austin. He's 0 for 2 in this game, struck out in the first and flew out in the third inning to center field. This one fouled right back towards our camera. 2-1 now the count. Mineral County awaiting the loser of this game in the finals of the losers bracket. But again, tomorrow it'll be a winner-take-all affair. So even though Ceredo-Kenova doesn't have a loss against them, if they were to lose tomorrow, whoever comes out of the losers bracket would be your state champion. So a little bit different format than what we've seen in years past. But nevertheless, Ceredo-Kenova would have a little bit of advantage, not having used up most of their pitching staff, as the count 3-1 from Sanders. Catches the outside corner, 3-2 now to Hunter Austin. Right now, if you're Sanders, you just want to pump in strikes, let your defense do some work if you need to. There's strike 3, or get it done yourself as he strikes out Austin. That is now 4 strikeouts for Sanders since coming in the second inning. And Landon Riddle, the number 3 hitter in this lineup, comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today, struck out and reached on an error in his 2 appearances. First pitch hit out of play to the right, 0-1. Again, Ceredo gambled and took Riggs out of the game just as he reached the 20-pitch plateau. That way they would have him available tomorrow. They were leading 7-0 at the time, but elected to go with Sanders at that point, and it appears the move will pay off unless Sophia gets red hot here with their last 5 outs available to them. Swing and a miss, 1-2. We'll see who they have available tomorrow. Shoemaker might be available as well if needed tomorrow. I would imagine Riggs would be available to go. That's what you get to look at. Maybe even Brody Spencer, who we haven't seen pitch in this tournament, just being his first game. But Ceredo-Kenova could have several key arms available tomorrow in that state championship game if need be. On the other end, Sophia, if they were able to come back and beat Mineral County later, they wouldn't have Linksweiler or Nelson available, as they've both gone well over the allotted amount to be able to pitch tomorrow. They both finishing in the 70s. That pitch misses low to Riddle, and once again a 3-2 count. Like we said, we'll have to wait and see what Mineral County has available. They used up Ornsdorf last night in the second game, so he won't be available to pitch the rest of the tournament as Riddle goes after a high fastball and lifts it out of play towards the left. So oftentimes in these games as the tournament moves on in the Little League, it does come down to availability almost as much as anything. And Sanders was able to strike out Hunter Austin on a 3-2 pitch a moment ago. Now here comes another 3-2 to Riddle. The swung on and missed, strike 3 as Sanders wins both battles on the 3-2 pitch. He's got 5 strikeouts now, and he'll bring up Silas Nelson, who he struck out to end the third inning, but Nelson 1 of 2 today, doubled in the second inning before that strikeout to end the third inning. Swing and a foul tip. No, and Farley, nice catch off the ricochet. But unfortunately, once it hits the gate, the ball's dead at that point. But Farley, good concentration on that. Nice little trick play web gem by him that time. This one hits sky high again and out of play behind home plate. So Sanders gets ahead 0-2. Looks like they need a couple more balls out of the press box here. So again, we've seen quite a few in this game, and
Return all foul balls to the press box. Please.
some of those are kind of dangerous going back towards the parking lot, as one of our crew members found out this week, unfortunately. We still love you, Brian. That one misses outside 1 and 2. That's partly why I park a country mile away whenever I come to a baseball game. I said, you know what? If they get me, then they earned it. At that point, I literally go to the back of the parking lot. I think I got hit. Well, I still remember a Little League game in Man several years ago. A kid hit a home run to dead center field, and someone's truck was parked right out there. It went right into the windshield. You just heard, ooh, as soon as it happened. And I think that was the day, it was about 10, 11 years ago, I think that game was. I decided, you know what, I don't have good luck in life, so I'm going to make sure I'm far, far away. And if they hit me, then they deserve it. Here's the 2-2 to Nelson. Slaps this one hard into left field, coming on, and nice grab by Mannon out in left field. As that was a rocket by Nelson, but right at Mannon, who went to a knee and makes the grab for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for Sanders. And we go to the 6th inning with Ceredo-Kenova 3 outs away from moving on to the championship round, as you're watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Tournament right here on Video Productions.
Are your kids playing in a real Little League? Little League is the world's largest and most respected youth sports program with nearly 2.4 million children and more than 1 million volunteers in dozens of countries around the world. Little League includes baseball and softball programs for kids ages 4 to 16. There's the Challenger Division program for kids with physical and mental challenges too. For those adults interested in starting a genuine Little League in your area, assistance is available from Little League International in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. For more information on Little League, visit Little League website at www.littleleague.org.
No child in our community should have to go hungry, but it happens every day. That's why the Food Shack is traveling across our area to stop hunger among community kids. The mission is simple: feed as many kids as possible with free hot meals 5 days a week. There's no questions asked and no catch. If your child is hungry and needs something to eat, the Food Shack will provide them with a meal. Visit our Facebook page to find out where the Food Shack is going.
13-5, Ceredo-Kenova as we get to the top of the 6th inning. Chris Kidd with you. Brian Shepard, our statistician and graphic organizer, with Butch Mounts, our engineer. And apologies on that last catch. Again, that was Landon Watts on the grab. I think I'd had something against Landon Watts this week. It's the second time that I've had him mixed up on a great play that he's made out in left field, so I apologize to you, Landon. If you get the next one, I promise I'll get one right before we leave here this week for you, as he's up to bat now and fouls one out of play to the left. As Watts batting back in the 9 spot. Again, he struck out in his only plate appearance today. This one ripped into right center field. That's back toward the wall and off the middle part of the wall. He'll round first, dig for second to throw in, but not in time. And Landon Watts with a leadoff double off the wall in right center field. That one was smoked by Watts, almost got out of the park, but just barely held it. So now Harrison Riggs comes to the plate as Linksweiler approaching the end of his evening on the mound. Again, 85 pitches is as much as you can throw, and he's nearly gotten to that point now. As they've got him as 82 on the board and 80 on our screen, but nevertheless, reaching the end here shortly. This is going to be trouble, landing quick in right field. What a catch out in right field by Varney that time. It's Tyler Varney able to get under that and make a tough grab for the first out of the inning. So that will retire Riggs. He'll finish the day 2 out of 5. And that'll bring up Jack Shoemaker. He's 2 for 4 today. Strike on the outside corner. Shoemaker singled in the first inning, doubled in the second inning to left field, then popped out to third and struck out in the 5th against Linksweiler. This one slapped into the screen. 0-2 the count. So this could be the last batter that Linksweiler is able to face tonight, and strike 3 called on Shoemaker. And he'll go down on strikes as they look the runner back. And the board has it listed as 86 pitches. And Linksweiler will have to come out here after he goes the distance, at least as far as his pitch count goes. And we'll wait to see who Sophia ends up coming back with here. Again, still in need of one more out to get out of the top of the 6th inning. And then Sophia will be down to their final 3 outs after the fact. So we'll see who they elect to bring in here. And it's going to be Cole Moody who gets the call on the mound. So while Moody warms up briefly, we'll step aside for a break and be back after this as you're watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Tournament right here on Video Productions. Isaiah Sanders up to bat as he'll face Cole Moody with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. A 13-5 lead for Ceredo-Kenova as the first pitch gets away. Watts goes to third and the throw gets away, and that is the 3rd time tonight that an errant throw has allowed a Ceredo-Kenova player to score. And again, errors have just been so deadly tonight for both clubs, but especially Sophia. That is 6 errors now for the game for this Sophia ball club. So uncharacteristic from what we saw in the first 2 games. Like I said, the day off definitely did well for Ceredo-Kenova's bats. Sophia's really struggled from the field here today and making some plays. Again, 6 errors. Doesn't really matter what level you're at. 6 errors will come back to hurt you every single time. That one skips in, 3-1. And there will be no 10-run rule, even if Ceredo-Kenova were to get there now. Again, in the top of the 6th, it would have to be after the inning, but we're already in the final inning as it is. As Moody missing high, ball 4. So that'll bring up Brody Spencer now. Spencer tonight, 3 of 3. He's hit by a pitch in the first inning, doubled into left field in the second inning, singled up the middle in the third for an RBI, and singled to left for an RBI in his last plate appearance. That pitch misses high, gets over the head of Riddle, and that'll move Sanders over to second base. Moody just missing high right now. As we said, not sure how often Cole Moody's been called on to pitch. Like we said, if you're Sophia right now, you don't want to use any of your pitchers that you may need to use in the next game tonight. And then if you happen to get to the finals tomorrow, I'd imagine Sophia is going to save whatever arms they have left at the moment for Mineral County coming up next. That went on the inside corner for a strike, 2-1. And this is the portion of the game where you start to see that strike zone expand as well. And I'd say right now, if Moody gets it over, I was going to say, I think if Moody gets it over right about now and it's close, you're going to see it called. So Spencer chops it towards short, fielded by Bradbury. Tough throw. And it gets away for the 7th error of this game now. As a run scores, it is now 15-5. And this has just been a rough game on both sides for errors. And there you see it was a good dig by Bradbury. Again, the throw was a little low. Nelson had his chance to grab that one, but just couldn't squeeze it. Now Bo Farley comes to the plate. This one ripped foul down the first base side. Farley walked in the first inning, grounded out to first base in the second inning, hit into a fielder's choice in the third inning, and reached on an error in the 5th inning. Count at 1-1 now. This one chopped towards first base. Going to be a tough play. Nelson grabs, throws over, and not sure what happened there. Bradbury made the catch. I guess he wasn't on the bag. Somehow he made that catch in that tight window, that throw from Nelson. But again, the inning continues. Again, this has been a very, very long affair of a game thus far. Again, we're over 2 hours into this game now. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, Bradbury wasn't near the bag when it was thrown over. So Farley reaches on a fielder's choice. This one hit high in the air to left, back towards the wall, and that is pulverized out of here by Miguel Kane, a 3-run blast. And we said he had his struggles at the plate with 6 strikeouts in this tournament. Well, he just got a lot of that back on one swing there. Just an absolute smoke of a ball out of this ballpark. And Kane knew it. He was waving his fingers around as soon as that got off his bat. 18-5, and that now sets a new high for runs scored in this tournament. Boone Northern had scored 17 earlier in this tournament. Mineral County scored 16 on a couple of occasions yesterday, but now 18, our new high, as Kane just wallops this ball over the left field wall. And now it brings up Braxton Brown, who walked in his first plate appearance and then grounded out to first in his next plate appearance. It's 0-1 the count. Sophia still looking for the final out of this inning. 1-1 the count goes. That pitch skips in and misses. 2-1. And that's the only thing that hurts the most about baseball right there. There is no clock, and so you got to get the outs in order to get it over with at that moment. And again, you get batters coming to the plate. They're not going to get themselves out. And so that's where baseball can become a little bit longer of a sport than others at most points. Now the count 3-1 is Moody facing Brown. That'll be ball 4. So this will now be the 9th batter to come to the plate this inning, and Evan Mannon. As Moody struggling to find the zone right now, and now time is called. And they might be ready to make another pitching change here. And looks like they have grabbed the ball from Moody, so we'll step aside for a break while another pitching change takes place, as it'll be the 4th pitcher of the evening for Sophia. We'll be back after this. You're watching the 2020 Little League State Tournament right here on Video Productions.
General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
As a member of the military, a military family, or a veteran, the last thing you should have to worry about is your prescriptions. At your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, we'll transfer your prescriptions for you with no interruptions in service. Our pharmacists will be there to help answer questions and share tips and advice with a friendly, knowledgeable smile. And we're not going anywhere. We welcome military personnel and their families. Transfer your prescriptions today. Griffith & File Drugstore and Soda Fountain, 1405 Chestnut Street, Kenova. Health Mart, caring for you.
We are still here in the top of the 6th inning as Ceredo-Kenova will bat around now for the 2nd time in the game. Did it in the 1st inning and now do it here in the 6th inning. As Varney now on. See if he can record the 3rd out of the inning. Quickly gets 2 strikes ahead on Evan Mannon. As Tyler Varney made a great catch earlier in the inning on Riggs to retire him. This one hit towards 3rd slowly, but foul. That's 5 runs in this inning for Ceredo-Kenova. 3-run home run by Miguel Kane, the highlight of it thus far. As right now, everything over except for the final stats as Varney misses high, 1-2. Again, we'll have Sophia and Mineral County coming up after this game in the finals of the losers bracket to see who will come back tomorrow and face Ceredo-Kenova for the state championship. After getting ahead 0-2, now the count is run full at 3-2 to Evan Mannon. Mannon had an RBI ground out and then hit into a double play his last time up and walks here. So runners now at 1st and 2nd with 2 outs. And that'll bring it back to Mason Watts, who doubled to start out this inning. And that's 3 walks given up this inning by Sophia. And that one may have caught Watts on the helmet, and appears it did. Actually, no, apparently it didn't. No, it hit the bat instead, so that's a foul tip. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. And this has by far been our longest game of the tournament thus far. And let's take a look at it here. Yeah, right there, you see it right off the bat. And Watts comes back with a single into center field as they'll round Brown, bring him to the plate. He'll score standing up. And now the lead moves to 19-5. Here in the top of the 6th inning. There you see it on our replay. Again, Watts going right back up the middle with it. He picks up 2 hits this inning. That'll bring up Harrison Riggs now. Riggs flew out to right field to Varney earlier this inning. Again, I said that would close the book on him, but here he comes again. This will be his 6th at bat in this ball game. He's 2 for 5 overall, singled in the first, struck out in the second, an RBI single in the third, grounded out to second in the fourth, and as we mentioned, flew out earlier this inning. Riggs chops one towards third and fouls. The count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike.
This is a smoke-free facility. I repeat, smoke-free facility.
Mineral County standing along the third baseline right now, awaiting their opponent. Again, we're going to have a late start for the next game. It was scheduled for 8:30. And that one hits Riggs in the hind end as he'll move on over to first base.
Up to bat, number 5, Jack.
Now that'll bring up Jack Shoemaker. And Shoemaker struck out in his last 2 appearances. He's 2 for 5 today. Singled and doubled in the first and second inning, then popped out, and as we said, has back-to-back strikeouts since then. Count 1-0. That one catches the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. That one misses over the head of Riddle. Hops back to him, so the count moves at 2-1. That one misses over the head of Shoemaker, now 3-1. Trying to see how many batters in a row have reached here for Ceredo-Kenova. I believe it's maybe 9 straight batters that have reached since the last out, 8 or 9 at this point. I think it was Shoemaker that made the last out. This one hit between first and second, and that's through into right field for a hit, as that will score a run. That'll score 2 runs. The lead now to 21-5. And pretty much at this juncture, if you're Ceredo-Kenova, you might want to think about even just a mercy out at this point on the base path. Shoemaker picks up an RBI and his 3rd hit of the game. That'll be an RBI single for him. Now Isaiah Sanders walked earlier this inning. He has 3 hits for the game. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. This one chopped high on the infield to Bradbury, bobbles it, and they're not going to have a play. So that'll add another run.
Up to bat now, number 2, Brody Spencer.
And that'll be an infield hit and a single for Sanders. So now it'll bring up Brody Spencer. And in for a strike, 0-1. As we said, this has just been a very difficult inning here. And it continues on as that one's going to go up against the wall as Spencer has an RBI single to make it 23-5 now. And that'll bring up Bo Farley.
Up to bat, 0-0, Bo Farley.
As we said, we're probably going to have about an after 9 o'clock start for the last game here tonight. Again, this one started at 6 o'clock and looks like it's going to run into after about 8:30 at the least. There's strike 2 on the inside corner. So 9 straight batters have reached for Ceredo-Kenova since the second out of this inning. And it's going to continue on as there's a single up the middle. That'll bring in another run, 24-5 in favor of Ceredo-Kenova. Now Miguel Kane, who had a 3-run home run earlier this inning. Count 1-0. That one misses and goes behind the catcher as Ceredo-Kenova conceding on the base path now. They're not going to try and move up on any other pass balls. Swing and a miss by Kane as Ceredo-Kenova scored 11 runs this inning. This is the finals of the winner's bracket. Again, Sophia is still going to have to play one more game here tonight in the finals of the loser's bracket. See who comes back tomorrow and plays Ceredo-Kenova in the state championship. Again, Mineral County still waiting in the wings right now. As that misses low, ball 4. So the base is loaded now, and you get Braxton Brown coming to the plate. Brown walked earlier this inning as Ceredo-Kenova on the verge of batting around twice this inning. Count 1-0. Fouled off by Brown, 1-1. Sophia pitching has thrown nearly 200 pitches, if not over it, yet combined in this ball game. And there is mercifully the end of the top of the 6th inning after 11 runs score on a line out from Brown. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning with Ceredo-Kenova looking to move on to the state championship right after this, as you're watching the 2020 Little League State Tournament with us right here on Video Productions.
As a member of the military, a military family, or a veteran, the last thing you should have to worry about is your prescriptions. At your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, we'll transfer your prescriptions for you with no interruptions in service. Our pharmacists will be there to help answer questions and share tips and advice with a friendly, knowledgeable smile. And we're not going anywhere. We welcome military personnel and their families. Transfer your prescriptions today. Griffith and File Drugstore and Soda Fountain, 1405 Chestnut Street, Kenova. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100-plus stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
A base? Get out.
Stepping off a base doesn't do anything in baseball.
I mean, just let them tag you out. Yeah. That's what I said. That could have been over forever ago. 24 runs on 17 hits for Ceredo-Kenova tonight, as they were on the verge of moving on to the state championship. Chris Kidd with you, as Sophia has just had about as rough of an evening as you could possibly have here thus far today. Again, giving up the 17 hits and 24 runs, but also adding to their pain with 7 errors on top of that. But Ceredo-Kenova has had 4 of their own, but they've more than made up for it at the plate as Cole Moody rips one into right field, and that one's going to get to the wall as Moody will round first and dig for second, as he'll have a stand-up double, and that'll be his 5th hit of this tournament. Now Tyler Varney will come to the plate. And Varney struck out in his last plate appearance against Sanders. This one he hits into the air into center field, and that lands for a hit. So runners at first and third now with nobody out. And again, we're told in between break, Varney, just a 9-year-old, coming out here and competing against the 11 and 12-year-olds. Kid's got a lot of heart and a lot of spunk in him again. And even one of the umpires said, that kid's not afraid. I said he's made some couple of hits now in this tournament, along with that good catch out in right field earlier. And now this one ripped to third, caught out of the air by Spencer. Throw back to first in time for the double play. So just like that, a double play on the catch there to retire Jacob Varney. And now Sophia down to their final out here, as you see here on our Video Productions Instant Replay. Again, Varney noticed it once he got in the eyesight of Spencer, but by that point it was a little too late in getting back. Now this one lifted in on the infield, could do it. Riggs with a diving grab for out number 3. And that does it here for the finals of the winners bracket, as Ceredo-Kenova just as dominating a performance as you could possibly have in a game like this, as they win it 24-5 in a game that lasted 2 hours and 25 minutes. Again, 4 runs in the first, 3 in the second, 3 in the third, 3 in the fifth, and 11 in the sixth inning to take this game and send a message as they head to the finals tomorrow for the state championship. And they'll either face this Sophia club again, or they'll face Mineral County, as that game will be coming up here within about the next 30 to 45 minutes, our presumption. So again, it was scheduled to start at 8:30, but we're looking at probably past 9 o'clock without a doubt at this moment for the start of that game in our final game of the losers bracket to see who moves into the state championship with Ceredo-Kenova. So we'll be back shortly for the finals of that bracket. So for Butch Mounts and Brian Shepard, I'm Chris Kidd saying see you soon here from Central Greenbrier Little League Field as you're watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Tournament with us right here on Video Productions.